everybody, welcome to another Menu Monday.
Welcome to Menu Monday. New recipes every Monday. Stuck in that cooking rut? I've been there. Come join me and try some new things. I have fun in the kitchen and I hope you enjoy the video. So let's get cooking.
Today we're going to be cooking all the meals that we did for the freezer for the Instant Pot. So again, just to remind you, I did do a series before that we did freezer meals for the slow cooker, and then last week we prepped a week's worth of food for the Instant Pot, and that's what we're going to be cooking today. So without further ado, let's get going.
Today we're going to be serving up the buffalo chicken chili. Now this is cooked from frozen. The original recipe called for it to be cooked for 30 minutes with a quick release. I did that. My chicken was only 98 degrees, so it did not come to the proper temperature. So I put it in for an additional 10 minutes, and at that time it was cooked through. So I've changed the recipe directions for the cooking day to high pressure for 40 minutes with a quick release, but do check your chicken to be sure that it is the correct temperature. So I just put the little container into a pot of warm water, and that released the edges, and then I put it in the Instant Pot. No added water for this one. Sorry, my ice maker is just dripping. This is where I realized the chicken wasn't cooked through, and I checked the temperature. I broke it up a little bit and put it back in the pot. Ten minutes later, we were good to go. So I removed the chicken and continued shredding. Now, for the buffalo chicken chili, we found it absolutely delicious. I would definitely redo this one. In fact, this is the one where I believe I have 2 containers because it made so much. So we've still got another one in the freezer for another day where we want an easy meal. So I suggest trying this one for sure. Just served it with some chips. Today we're serving up the buffalo chicken. This one was very simple to put together, 3 ingredients, so that was easy. This one is cooked also from frozen. I didn't have to put this in any warm water. It came right out of the pot with the exception of a little bit of sauce, and I just got that out with a butter knife. Now it says to add a half a cup of water into the Instant Pot, so I did that prior to putting that in, and said to cook for 25 minutes if frozen. This one, the chicken was not cooked to the correct temperature, so I had to put it in for another 10 minutes, and I have changed the time in the directions to 35 minutes, so and a quick release on that also. Now this one said to let the rolls thaw until they were no longer frozen but still cold, and then you add the buffalo chicken to them. I don't think I got the right rolls. Mine were yeast rolls, and they're not made to sort of bend and squish, which I think the option was. So if you want to make them like little balls with the chicken inside and then bake them, then that would be the way to go. I ended up baking them with the chicken in there, but it was more like a sandwich. It was still tasty though. This is where I realized again the chicken was not cooked, so I put it back in for an additional 10 minutes. And I hope these help you, because now you've got the correct times, and I hope your chicken cooks through. But always check your temperature until you know, maybe these Instant Pots are different like slow cookers are. They cook differently, so you just double check. Alright, now the chicken's done. We're going to get this shredded up. I'll put it back in with the sauce. And give it a good mix. This sauce was rather thin. If you want to thicken it up, just do a slurry of cornstarch and water. I just used a slotted spoon, so that's what I did. Alright, so I'm just cutting these and putting the chicken mixture inside. And a little cheese on top. We'll get this sped up. It's just to plop these in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes on 350 degrees. The Emir Lagasse air fryer oven cooks a little faster, so mine came out a little overdone because I wasn't paying attention, but they were not burnt, so we enjoyed them. But you'll see in a minute, they look rather dark. And I just melted some butter and I'm just brushing that on top. The sandwiches were very, very good, and I'm definitely going to do these again. And there we go. Today we're going to serve up the General Test chicken, and this one is done also from frozen. So I'm going to put this in a bowl of warm water just to get it off the edges. It loosens up and then plops right out. Alright, so we just let it sit for a couple of minutes in here, and then it's ready to be turned upside down and put into the Instant Pot. And I'm just going to scrape out the additional ingredients that were left in the plastic container. Alright, so we cook this from frozen on high pressure for 10 minutes with a quick release. And we got our rice going too. Alright, we're going to release the pressure now. And stop. Do not eat this. It was so salty, Big Daddy and I couldn't even eat it. So I adjusted the ingredients and I did it again. I cooked it again on another day. So here we go again with the adjusted ingredients. I didn't do this as a freezer meal. I just cooked it the same day. So I'm adding in the cubed chicken, the teaspoon of sesame oil. We have rice vinegar, which is 6 tablespoons, nothing yet adjusted. This is where we make the change. The soy sauce called for 6 tablespoons and way too salty. I changed that to 2. The hoisin called for a 1/4 cup, which is 4 tablespoons. I took that down to 3. And then for the added liquid, you can either use a 1/4 cup of water or orange juice, which is what I used. And that made all the difference in the world and was so good and so edible. So I have changed those ingredients on not only this week's ingredients on the website, but also last week's, so you don't make the other one. And also, one of our viewers, Stephanie, suggested a low sodium soy sauce. So I just checked mine. Mine is not low sodium, so that may have been the cause of the issue. But this way, with these ingredients, fantastic. And I would definitely make this again now that I've adjusted the ingredients. So give this one a try. Today we're having the honey garlic beef with the sugar snap peas. Now this was thawed in the fridge, and it wasn't quite ready the next day, so I left it out on the counter until it was ready to go in the pot. And we're just going to spread that out evenly. There's no water or anything else to add. And you put this on high pressure for 15 minutes with a natural release. On the side, I decided to do some roasted sweet potatoes. They were already cubed, so I just added some seasoning and some olive oil and put it on a baking sheet in the oven. Give it salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of adobo. That's my usual seasonings. Alright, I'm just going to spread these out on top of the parchment paper. Very simple side dish. It was really good too. Alright, we're going to pop this in the oven, and then our pressure cooker is releasing naturally, so we're going to get the lid off that, break apart the meat, and then add the sugar snap peas. We put that back on pressure, cook for 2 minutes with a quick release, and then everything's ready. This was really, really good, and I just served mine with a side of fried rice. Today we're going to be having the Italian roast. Now this one is cooked from frozen straight into the Instant Pot, and it's set on high pressure for 55 minutes with a natural release for 10 minutes, and then you can quick release any remaining pressure. So we'll get this all set, and I'll be back. And with the magic of YouTube, we're all done. So I'm just going to check the meat to make sure it's cooked through, since I've had a few issues with the chicken. But you always want to check. the meat was cooked through. So this cooking time was perfect. We'll get the bay leaf out. Alright, just mixing everything through. I did find this meat to be a little, I don't want to say tough, because it wasn't tough, but we're so used to doing the slow cooker, and that meat is like so tender, falls apart, and this didn't have that texture. But the flavor was absolutely amazing. We both really enjoyed it. We served it with a great big baked potato. And I did use the 28-ounce can of tomatoes. It only calls for 10, but I think it was well worth it. Very flavorful. I'm going to do it in the slow cooker next time. Today I'm making the lemon butter garlic pork loin, and I've put here a side of casserole. And the reason for that is the pork loin did not turn out very well, and I also forgot to take a picture of it because I had all my grandchildren there. They actually enjoyed it with some barbecue sauce on the side, but my favorite way to do a pork loin is still on the rotisserie in the Emeril Lagasse oven. So I'm not going to be making this one again. So it's said to cook for 10 minutes on high pressure, natural release for 5 minutes. Now, a regular pork loin, not frozen, is 30 to 35 minutes, or 25 to 30 minutes in an Instant Pot. So I changed the time, and I did it on high pressure for 40 minutes, and I did a 10-minute natural release. It was nice and tender, but it just had no flavor. Like I said, the kids did eat it with the barbecue sauce. So I went on to show you the casserole that I did on the side because it turned out very well, and I wanted to give you something exciting to try. So for the broccoli casserole, I just cut up some fresh broccoli florets that I got from the grocery store. I washed them first, got them chopped up, and put them in my steamer basket. I will put the ingredients and the directions on the website rvlifeintheusa.com along with the pork loin. That way you can make this if you'd like to give it a try. This was a huge hit with the kids and the grandkids, and it was devoured. There was nothing left. In addition to this, I made a vegetarian lasagna for my son, because he doesn't eat meat, and that was enjoyed by everybody as well. So there was plenty to eat. I was determined to get all of this in this steamer basket, and I got it in there. Alright, now to get the water boiling and get this broccoli steaming. Now in our other bowl, we're going to add the soup. This is cream of mushroom soup, some sour cream, a cup of shredded cheese. I used sharp cheddar, and then 1 1/4 cups of French fried onions. Now it says to get 6 ounces and save some to sprinkle on the top of the casserole for the last 10 minutes. I had 2 small containers, so I used one for the casserole itself, and I just sprinkled a little bit of the other one on the top. And once you get these ingredients in the pan, you're going to put it over medium heat to get it heated through, and then we'll mix in the broccoli. I'm sorry if you hear the lawnmower outside. They're cutting the grass in this campground. We're not over on this lot yet, so hopefully we can get finished here. So I'm just spraying the oil on the casserole dish. We're going to mix the broccoli in with the cheese. And this goes into a 325-degree oven, uncovered, for 25 to 30 minutes, or until it's nice and bubbly. And then you want to take it out and sprinkle it with your cheese and your extra onions, or your remaining cheese rather, and some onions, French fried onions, and then bake it for an additional 10 to 15 minutes. Again, the Emeril Lagasse oven cooks a lot faster. So I took it out early, and mine was completely cooked and the top done in about 25 minutes. Alright, and I didn't get a picture of this either, so here's me putting just the top on and popping it back in, but you can see how delicious that is with all that nice cheese. Today we're going to be having the red chicken chili. Now, out of all the recipes, this one had the most instructions for the day of serving, but nothing too complicated. And it was well worth it because it was really good. So this one you thaw in the refrigerator for 24 hours at the bottom. Before you put in the ingredients, you add 1.5 cups of water to the Instant Pot, and then you dump in the contents of your container or your bag, whichever you use. After you do that, you're going to put a brick of cream cheese on top of the mixture. You don't have to mix it in or anything. You just put it on top of the frozen content. Then we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to cook this on high pressure for 10 minutes, and then a slow release for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you can move the valve and release the remaining pressure. Now, to thicken this agent, or thicken the sauce, you're going to use a cornstarch slurry. So you see me making this while it's cooking, and that's 2 to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch with 2 to 3 tablespoons of water, and then just mix that together. And I just did it in a mayonnaise jar that we have in the pantry for our pancakes. So I'm now just checking the temperature of the chicken to make sure it's cooked through, which it was. So this one was a good guide as far as cooking. We're removing the chicken to the cutting board. And you can see that the cream cheese is not fully incorporated into the mix, but that will happen shortly. So I'm just cutting up my chicken. I decided not to shred it, but just cut it into small pieces. I dropped a piece. It didn't go on the floor. It was in the drawer. So I had to sift through the drawer to find it. I didn't want a piece of chicken in there. That'd teach me to keep the drawer open. Alright, so I have the Instant Pot on saute, so to get the get the cream cheese incorporated, and then we're going to return all the chicken that I have cut up to the pot. We'll mix this up a little bit more, get that cream cheese incorporated. We're going to add in now 1 cup of grated cheddar cheese and mix that in. And see, everything's coming together now. We're going to add in our cornstarch slurry, and now everything will thicken up. This was really tasty. Definitely making this one again. Big Daddy fried up some cornbread to go with it, and it was a delicious meal, and there was plenty left over for lunch the next day. So this one, definitely a redo.
Well, I hope you enjoyed those meals. Like I said, some of them just needed some adjustments. Others I'm not going to do again, but the majority of them do-overs. So now I go through my recipe manager, which I use paprika. There is a video about that. I'll link it below. And I will delete the ones that I do not wish to do again, and then I rate the ones that I made, and the majority of them were very good. And the one Italian roast, we're going to do that in the slow cooker because it was really flavorful, but the meat wasn't as tender as the slow cooker would get it. So I'm going to retry that one. I'll let you know how it goes. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Good to see you again. Alright, you guys take care. Love y'all. Bye-bye.